For one, San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. San Antonio's Sports Center.
After not practicing on Friday due to ankle soreness, Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott was a full participant in today's mock game, alleviating worries of any potential injury concerns, although offensive lineman Chuma Edoga will likely start the season on the injured reserve after suffering a significant injury to his left big toe in the preseason opener. And Texas Longhorns running back depth continues to take a hit as Christian Clark suffered a torn Achilles, joining C.J. Baxter.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge. What's up, Danny? Can't stop me now.
Oh, welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportsstar.com. Thanks for joining me. However you may be joining me, whether that's on 94.1 FM, sasportsstar.com, if you're listening via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you're watching live on our YouTube channel. All of our shows stream live on YouTube at SA Sports Star on YouTube. Go ahead, like, subscribe. You can comment along like all those in the chat already. Miss Becky, Frank Valdez, Fred Records, what's going on? Yeah, another injury to Texas running backs, as I mentioned in Sports Center. Texas Longhorns freshman running back Christian Clark suffered a torn Achilles tendon in practice Monday. He's going to undergo surgery, out for the season. They already left starting running back C.J. Baxter last week with a torn LCL and PCL suffered in practice last week. They're now down to Jaden Blue, sophomore Trey Wisner, and freshman running back Jarrett Gibson. So the Texas Longhorns, man, they've got some injury concerns at the running back position. They're trying to put some people in positions to see maybe if they can find a Roshan Johnson type player that transfers from a different position to help them out this year. But we shall see what happens. Vince Trevino in on the chat. Vince came in today. Winner of our Rangers prize pack giveaway, bobblehead hat and silver slugger bat. So congratulations, Vince. What's going on? It's good to finally meet you. See you in the chat all the time. Earlier today on the Blitz, a couple of different things happened throughout the day today. We're going to get to it all. They had Indy Kaluam. We'll get to that coming up next. And the Morning Huddle talking about the college football preseason top 25. But first, the Blitz earlier today was talking about the potential of a very weirdly put together trade that happens to make a lot of sense in terms of the Spurs winning now and the types of players that they're talking about getting in. They're breaking down a Nick Wright mock trade earlier today, which would net them a couple of Olympians that may want to play together. We'll play for you now right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
After the Olympics and Team USA winning that gold medal, there's been renewed talk about Steph Curry and LeBron James and could they actually team up during an NBA season, as they're both nearing the end of their careers. And I've seen different scenarios where, you know, if Steph Curry were to get traded to the Lakers and join LeBron and Anthony Davis, and could LeBron end up somehow in Golden State? And then Nick Wright from FS1, he's got an idea that somehow both Steph Curry and LeBron James end up in San Antonio to play with Wemby and for Greg Popovich.
Amazing, huh? how that happens. He's got it all figured out too. Apparently how salaries will match and all of that kind of good stuff. So LeBron and Steph come to San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
In exchange, the Lakers would get Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes, and 2 first-round draft picks.
Yep.
The Warriors would then receive Devin Vassell, Zach Collins, and 2 first-round draft picks.
What I find interesting is Nick Wright was going over this and throwing this out on his show. What he actually had to say about all those picks that the Spurs have been hoarding, and every Spurs fan is against getting rid of all of them.
Wow. So the Spurs have all types of picks. They also have young players on decent contracts, like Johnson and Vassell. So the Spurs get LeBron and Steph. The Lakers get Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes, the Spurs first in 2027, and the Timberwolves first in 2031, which the Spurs have.
Okay.
The Warriors get
unprotected.
All unprotected. Everything's unprotected. These are true first. The Warriors get Devin Vassell, Zach Collins, and Sissoko to make the money work. Atlanta's 27 first, which could be super valuable. The Spurs still would have. Here's the argument for the Spurs. Other than it's, and by the way, Chris Paul's on the team and Greg Popovich is the coach.
Right.
Yeah.
Teach Wemby how to win.
Teach him how to win.
You are not sacrificing long-term flexibility with Wemby, because when those guys are gone, now all of a sudden you have all this cap space. You still will have a surplus of picks. So here's what I would say. I almost think Adam Silver should just be like, hey, guys, you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like David Stern, like when he vetoed the Chris Paul trade.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, for the good of the league, we're going to get Wemby in big games. We're going to get Steph and LeBron with Pop for a farewell. It's a neutral site. Like nobody can be like, he went to his team, he went to his team. And cap-wise, it can't happen until October 4th. So when I said it can work, I understand it's not going to happen. But my point is that is a trade that, because of aprons and everything, trades are hard.
Yep.
The Spurs have so little salary. They have real old school trade flexibility on taking on that type of salary.
Love it.
That can work.
Sure, it can work. He didn't think it's going to happen, but it could work.
Well, that's it. It's spaghetti against the wall. Yeah.
I'm just curious. In that scenario, let's say that we're in a fantasy land today and we're just wishing upon a star. Spurs fans, would you like that trade? Would you go for something like that to get LeBron in here and Steph Curry to team up with Chris Paul and Wemby and take a shot at a championship this year and perhaps next year, depending on how long LeBron and Curry want to play?
I think Curry's got many more years than LeBron, although LeBron is playing at a ridiculously high level for 39. At some point, you figure you're going to see a drop-off, although we're not seeing it yet. And LeBron's game is such that he can adjust and become more of a passer, more of a facilitator. I could see him extending out 4 or 5 more years, just not being the same type of player that he is today. But watching him at the Olympics, and you could see what Steph is able to do. You mix in that with Wemby. Now, all the depth that the Spurs had would be gone, but even then, you add Wemby, Curry, Chris Paul, and LeBron James. Does that put them over what you're seeing in Denver, Oklahoma City, Dallas? I mean, they're a good team. Are they a champion with those guys?
Yes. I mean, is there any doubt? You're talking about Steph Curry, LeBron James, Chris Paul, and Victor Wembanyama.
All right.
They have no depth, and you said that, but so I don't know who the hell's going to come off the bench.
Both Golden State and the Lakers were fighting for play-in last year. I mean, I think Wemby, based on how we saw him finish last year, what we've seen in the Olympics, the growth expectation for Wemby is through the roof.
Yes.
But to do that trade with everything now, I'm the one on record as saying I don't want to be patient. Speed this thing up, get the Spurs back to championship caliber status sooner rather than later. I'm all for that. Does something like this make sense? I mean, Nick Wright's like, dude, the commissioner should just force it to happen.
Well, look, I mean, and we're the only reason you would take this seriously is because of the fact that LeBron is on he's in the winter of his career. Steph Curry's getting there as well. The Golden State Warriors aren't going to win anything this year.
No.
Nothing.
And neither are the Lakers.
So
but the Lakers have his kid, LeBron.
Yeah, well, which seems to be a little more important than anything else when it comes to LeBron. So they're not going to win any championships there. So what do you do with them? How do you end your career? Is that how you want to go out, with not having an opportunity? Now, they could win another in-season tournament, and that could be good enough.
That's not good
for LeBron. I mean, it's possible.
Although it feels like such fantasy land. It feels like something you would do in a video game. But the numbers actually do work, which is the crazy thing. But do you think the Spurs would part ways with all those draft picks? Now, if you do that, you're good for the next 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 with that group, and you still have picks beyond that, which is crazy. I find it's a fascinating idea that will never happen.
I don't even know if you'd have it for 3 or 4 years, and would you want it for that long? Quite honestly. And so my problem is going back to the Chris Paul thing. It doesn't improve the future of this ball club. And I would like to see guys built in and build a team that can compete for many years to come. Now, if you're just looking forward to try and strike gold and win a championship this year or next, okay, then you do something like that. But I want to see some veterans added to this team that can win a championship and sustain that growth. Wemby.
You just said something that actually might make this make more sense.
Huh.
Are you trying to win a championship right now or build something? How many more years is Greg Popovich going to sit on that bench? Now, that's a question we've been asking for a long time.
Yep.
And there's no sign that the end is near. But I have an idea with Pop. We're not going to know until we get a press release that's probably going to be 2 sentences after the end of one of the seasons that are coming up, whether it's next year, 2 years, 5 years from now, we have no idea.
No clue.
But if Pop wants a championship before he is done, if he wants to win another one before he is done, then I could see this. But it feels very un-Spurs-like to skip all the steps and do a trade like this for short-term potential result versus the long-term growth plan that they have been on.
It's not going to happen.
It's not.
It's not. Now, again, what the Spurs did this offseason, we've been over it a million times, not a huge fan of, and I've said that. But again, we're going into the magical year 2025, and if you make this pick or this trade, well, then you miss out on all the unicorns and lollipops and rainbows in 2025.
That's it. And you can't miss out on unicorns.
No.
The official animal of Scotland.
You're exactly right. You learned. That's good.
That was Jason and Joe talking about Nick Wright's proposal that would land LeBron James and Steph Curry in San Antonio alongside Victor Wembanyama and Chris Paul, along with Greg Popovich. And you'd still have Stephon Castle and Jeremy Sohan on that team as well. So, I mean, what do you think about it? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you want to be a part of the conversation, he can't be traded until his new contract with Utah is over with. That's actually not true, Miguel. You can trade him starting next season. There's a moratorium for 6 months to the day he signed the contract. Well, the NBA trade deadline is February 6th. He signed it on August 7th, which means he wouldn't be eligible to be traded until after the trade deadline, which means this offseason he would once again be available to be traded. But that's another topic of conversation for another show. When we come back, don't forget, I've got tickets that we are giving away to go see Def Leppard, Journey, and Steve Miller Band out at the Alamo Dome this coming Friday, August the 16th. If you want to win tickets, stay tuned. I'm going to be giving those away coming up next, but be remiss if we don't talk some football, because earlier on the Blitz, one of my favorite people in the world, Indy Clue, former Houston Texan, joined to talk about what's going on both with the Cowboys and Trey Lance and with the Houston Texans as they gear up for potential of the hype that they have never really faced in the entire franchise's existence. They'll get into that coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure. Plus, the Morning Huddle had a great debate about college football's preseason AP Top 25 and how that could set up this upcoming season. We'll discuss all of that next, plus giving away tickets to go see Def Leppard, Journey, and Steve Miller Band this Friday at the Alamo Dome. Coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. You stop running because your feet always hurt. That's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem. And it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Hey fellas, Jason Minix here from The Blitz. Did you know your testosterone starts to decline in your 30s? If you're feeling a loss of energy and drive, it could be low T. Well, the answer is simple. Get checked at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Don't put it off. At Synergenics, you'll get testing and customized care from providers who specialize in testosterone therapy, or TRT, and you can also be evaluated for treatment with GLP-1 weight loss medications. Book your appointment at synergenicshealth.com.
The granddaddy of all hunting shows is back. The 2024 Hunters Extravaganza, August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Fun for the whole family. Check out our hunting seminars, the latest in hunting equipment, last season's best bucks in our annual deer contest, and for the little hunters, games, live alligators, snakes, and more. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. For details and tickets, go to huntersextravaganza.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Limited time. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Why wait for the weekend? Twin Peaks is serving scratch food and pouring quality cocktails every day after dark. Visit a Twin Peaks near you and experience the best late night in the league. Today, tomorrow, or any day of the week. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
At Lowe's, we know how to save pros time and money. Save 20% on 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon pails of Valspar Defense or Cabot Stain. Plus, save 15% on your choice of 6 or more Purdy items. And get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 8/21 while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See store at Lowe's.com for details. Must be single receipt purchase. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, on YouTube. Go to SA Sports Star, like, subscribe. You're able to comment along with the show. Appreciate all the phone calls and comments. Money Paradox saying Wemby was the third best player on the French team. Does anyone worry about that? Well, he wasn't in the gold medal game. He was the best player on the French team in that game. So, no, I'm not worried about it. Wemby is Wemby. He is going to be good, and he is only getting better. And when you hear players like Jordan Clarkson talking about he's going to win every award possible, the future of the league is his, from LeBron. Like, these are things that I just don't worry about when it comes to Victor Wembanyama. His play has only gotten better. In the NFL, and remember, we've got tickets to give away. I'll give them away coming up after this interview with Indy Kalu. Journey, Depp Leppard, and Steve Miller Band. They will be at the Alamo Dome this coming Friday. If you want to win tickets, stay tuned for your chance to win. We'll get into it coming up after. The Houston Texans have expectations upon them that they've never, frankly, had in the history of the entirety of that organization. Their Super Bowl aspirations. They've put a team together that has the opportunity to compete. And it's funny because the Blitz talked with former Houston Texans defensive lineman and now Texans analyst Indy Kalu a little bit earlier. And of course, you can hear this in the AA Best Bail Bonds audio vault at sasportstar.com if you want to listen to the full interview. But Indy and them, they started off talking about, Jason and them trying to throw shots. So of course, Indy pops off with a little Trey Lance back and forth with them. But they get into the Houston Texans and the expectations on a franchise in which it's never had before.
Football season means Indy Kalu time.
Uh-oh.
Indy joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line after a long off season.
I miss Indy.
We all miss Indy.
We
Kalu.
did. Yes.
Indy, did you miss Indy?
No, I miss my. I really miss y'all. Last time I saw y'all were cooking up some good barbecue in a parking lot somewhere.
Tri-County Meat Market.
That's right.
Yeah. That was a fun time. How are y'all doing?
We're fantastic, man. Life good with you. I learned from Indy Kalu, a Texans analyst, on the broadcast the other night about dealing with ash. It must have been one hell of a game.
So you were actually listening deep into the fourth quarter. That's impressive. That's more impressive than the players out there.
I got to admit, Indy, Friday night I didn't see a damn part of that game, but they were running a rebroadcast of that ahead of the Cowboys game on Sunday. So I caught the fourth quarter leading into the Cowboys game.
Oh, you mean the game where Trey Lance just lit it up and he's going to be pushing Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush for playing time?
You are a professional analyst, sir. You cannot say that out loud and have anybody take you serious.
Well, wait a second. Yes, he can.
Oh.
Now, maybe not Dak Prescott, but certainly Cooper Rush.
You know what? I was expecting a little bit, and I know y'all didn't call me to talk, Dallas Cowboys.
You know,
but when
all our Texan segments end up talking about the Cowboys, so you're right in line.
So we're only ticking off like 2 or 3 people right now.
That's all of them.
That's it.
That's
yeah.
all of them.
No, I actually, when they made the move, if I'm going to be totally honest, I was like, you know what? That's a good move. It's high reward, low risk. Maybe somebody could find that first round talent and bring it out of them with a new setting. But I'm not going to lie, against the Rams, and I watched most of that game, I just wasn't seeing it. I was expecting a little bit more.
Well, Indy, let me tell you something. He's going to play the next 2, and if there's any chance in the world they can make him the number 2 quarterback, they're going to do it.
No, I'm with you. I mean, they want to do it. Here's what Jerry wants. He wants, and most Cowboy fans who are worried about the cap, he wants Dak Prescott to finish out the contract. Then he wants Trey to show you something to where you can say, you know what, we could just hand it over to this guy and not have to pay him these crazy amounts that these quarterbacks are being paid across the league, and he's going to carry them into the future. I think that's like the ideal scenario, but it never works like that. I don't think it's, we can look to the past and say, you know what, here's a scenario where this is where that happens. It's just not going to happen. You're either going to have to pay Dak or you're going to have to draft somebody in the first round, and after they have one good season, pay that person $80 million a year.
It's crazy, isn't it? Texans analyst, Texans legend, Indy Kalua, joining us here on the Blitz. You know, so much talk about this Houston team in the offseason has been centered around the offense, with bringing in Diggs in year 2 with C.J. Stroud after his incredible rookie year. But that defense, nobody's talking about that Texans defense. I know you love the defensive side of the ball. That's where you made your bones in the NFL. What are you seeing out of that Texans defense that nobody is really talking about?
Yeah, that's a great point, Jason. And you know what? That's just around the NFL. Offense is, they're going to get the majority of the press. And I get it. They're the guys who put the points on the board. But if you're excited about football and if you really want to see why this team is going to improve, it's not just going to be the improvements of C.J. Stroud from year 1 to year 2. It's going to be the additions of Azeez Al-Shaair. I mean, this is a guy, you love his story. He's a linebacker who went undrafted out of FAU, and he proved himself last year with the Tennessee Titans. He signed one of those one-year prove-it deals. All he did was one of the top tacklers in the entire NFL, played and started in every single game, and then he got the big contract here in Houston. I'm really excited about him because he's the quarterback of the defense. Yes, you have Danielle Hunter, who's coming off 16.5 sacks. Yes, you have Will Anderson, the reigning rookie defensive player of the year. But when you plug in that leader that plays linebacker, that knows how to communicate, that's like an extra coach on the field, you're definitely going to see a difference. And up front, Mario Edwards, Foley Bartokasi, the big run stoppers, that's one of the issues that the defense had last year, was stopping the run. So they addressed those needs. I really like what the team has done this offseason.
Well, look, DeMeco Ryans is just it just seems like every move he makes has been the right one since he arrived in Houston. And you got to talk some reason into me, because I sit here and look at that Houston Texans team, Indy, and I know their schedule is going to be tougher. I know second year, C.J. Stroud, will he get back? Going to work, but this team looks like a legit contender in the AFC. Am I off on that?
No, you're not. I mean, like you said, last year, they were coming off a season where they won only 2 or 3 games, and then they turn around and go 11-8. So they kind of exceeded all expectations. But with what they've done, with what D'Amico showed as a first-year head coach, you're expecting them to get even better, than they were last year. And you're right, just by the nature of how many games they won last year, if they improve, so you go from 10 regular season wins to 12, that's going to make you one of the top teams in the AFC. Now, after saying all that, this is our first show together, so I guess I'll be truthful today. I'll tell the truth.
Today.
I am a little bit nervous because here in Houston, the how can I say this? The feeling is, oh yeah, they're going to the AFC Championship game. Well, there's a team in Baltimore that's pretty good. There's a team in Cincinnati that's a little frustrated because they didn't have their quarterback who's pretty good in Joe Burrow for the entire season. You also have Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know if y'all heard of Patrick Mahomes. He's pretty good. So there's a lot of good teams in the AFC, and it's not just going to be a foregone conclusion that the Houston Texans are going to the AFC Championship game. And the reason I mentioned AFC South, last year to win that division was very competitive. There's so many things that could happen just in the AFC South that you still have to respect your opponent.
Well, and then of all the teams you mentioned, you didn't talk about the Colts, who the Texans open with. What are they going to be like with Richardson if he can have a solid season and stay healthy? Well, Jacksonville, last year, they were kind of that dark horse darling team that everybody was talking about this time of the year, and well, they didn't get it done. The only one you could really discount is Joe's team, the Tennessee Titans in the AFC South.
I don't know if I'd discount them either.
You know what's funny that you said that? I took my dad to the barber shop about 3 hours ago, and his barber is a huge Tennessee Titans fan, and he thinks the Tennessee Titans, obviously he's a fan, but he has some legitimate arguments with what they did in free agency. He thinks they're going to be the surprise team of the year. And at first I was like, come on, man, that's this fan talk. But when he broke out and broke down the free agent signings, and obviously Will Levis is going to have to continue to improve, every team in the AFC South should be cautiously optimistic, in my opinion.
Well,
including the Titans.
Yeah, and I think that is going to be a good division from top to bottom. I really do. I worry about Richardson staying healthy. He needs to figure out he needs to figure out what Lamar Jackson does, because Lamar Jackson never gets hit hard and he stays healthy for the most part. He's had his problems, but Richardson needs to figure that out too. And I think if he does, man, he's gonna be a stud quarterback as well. If you didn't see, did you get Will Levis's new cologne, the mayonnaise cologne? Have you heard about this?
I've not heard about it. Mayonnaise. Now, mayonnaise, does that even have a scent? I'm not a big mayonnaise guy.
Pledge, will you play for Indy the commercial that's on social media? This is Will Levis and his new cologne commercial.
They try to define you, but you are the ingredient to your own success. Luscious, eggy, smell like greatness. Will Levis, number 8, Parfum de Mayonnaise.
How do you trust that guy to lead your team?
Not only do you trust that guy, you run through a wall for him. If my quarterback put that out on social media, and this is my first time hearing it, I'm running through a wall for that guy. That is absurd. But I love it. Look, people take themselves way too serious, especially in the NFL. I'm sorry, I love that. I'm rooting for the guy now.
So you're going personality, and you'll do anything for $1. That sounds like Indy Kalu.
Look, if you take yourself too serious while playing a kid's game, then something's wrong with you. Some of these guys, when they're getting interviewed, they're acting like they're giving you the meaning of life. I'm like, come on, dog, just tell them how you caught so much. Not that serious.
That was Indy Kalu earlier today on the Blitz, talking Houston Texans football, and a little Trey Lance for you there as well, and what his future prospects may look like in Dallas. You want to catch the full interview, go to sasportstar.com to catch the entirety of it. But coming up next, the Morning Huddle got into a discussion this morning about college football, the top 25, and what we can expect after the preseason AP poll came out. That's coming up next here on Extra Innings Will Pledge. But first, I want to give you a chance to win tickets to go see Def Leppard, Journey, and the Steve Miller Band this Friday at the Alamo Dome. If you are caller number 11 right now at 210-656-ESPN, that is 210-656-3776, you're winning a pair of tickets to go check out Journey, Def Leppard, and Steve Miller Band out at the Alamo Dome this Friday, August the 16th. Tickets available at the Alamo Dome box office website, or you can win them right now being caller number 11, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776.
South Texas home for the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Saturday night at 9, the Cowboys travel from training camp in Oxnard to Sin City to take on the Las Vegas Raiders in their second of 3 preseason games. Pre-game starts at 8 p.m. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Calling all brothers and sisters of the league. Come to 49 Cigars in the village of Stone Oak, Suite 101, where game is always on and cigars are always premium. Enjoy a fine selection of cigars in our unique lounge. And remember, it's BYOB, 49cigars.com.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
O'Reilly. Did you know 1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced? O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free in or out of your vehicle. We can help you find the best battery for your vehicle and budget. O'Reilly Auto Parts has batteries starting at just $79.99. Get your battery tested for free today at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Summer. Wait, we need to finish school shopping.
We got this. The kids' favorite Good and Gather snacks at Target are now at a new lower price.
And $5 lunch boxes. Let's get Luna the flower bento box.
Good idea. And for our Mega Shark Fan Max, I got the Shark backpack. It's only $20.
Even 25-cent select crayons and $6 teas.
And we're done.
Now, where were we?
Cheers to us. When it comes to finishing your supply list, Target has your back to school.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your South Texas home for the Dallas Cowboys. That is correct. We've got Cowboys and Raiders coming up this Saturday. You can catch it right here on your South Texas home for the Dallas Cowboys, San Antonio Sports Star. It all starts at 2 o'clock with the pregame. Or, excuse me. That's actually not correct. For some reason, my calendar dropped forward a week. It's actually this Saturday, starting at 8 o'clock, as they take on the Raiders in Las Vegas. If you want to catch that game, be sure to keep it locked right here to your South Texas home for the Dallas Cowboys, San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. It is brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. Earlier today on the Morning Huddle, they had a nice conversation about the state of college football after the release of the top 25 AP preseason poll and what to expect with our first look at this 12-team playoff.
The college football poll is out. The AP poll, preseason AP poll is out. Only 3 teams receive first place votes. Georgia is your runaway number one. No surprise. 46 of the 62 first place votes. Ohio State second. They get 15 first place votes. And Oregon third, getting a single first place vote. Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan, Florida State round out your top 10. Any surprises there? Anybody you think is maybe misplaced on this list early on?
No, I'm a fan of the preseason poll for teams, so it gives you something to to get fired up about, and it gives kind of an early place setting. But all in all, even before this year, but especially this year, the preseason poll is useless. I mean, it gives you a starting point and a ranking. And Georgia certainly deserves to be there. And I think that the top 3 are in the right place. But after that, let's be real. This is wishful thinking, hopes and dreams pegged on a board. That, we have a 12-game playoff, at least this year, if you are underseeded. If you are sitting at 15 and you've got a top 5 team, if you're one of those teams that there's one of those every year, if you're underseeded, at least from here on out, you control your destiny. You really do. You only got to be in the top 12. That's all you need to be. You don't got to win your conference. You don't even have to win your rivalry game. You can still be in it at the end, which makes the preseason poll more of it's a beauty contest, but I do like it because if I'm 2, I can fight for 1. If I'm 1, I got to hold on to it. If I'm 20, I got 19 dudes in front of me that I got to go beat. It gives me a reason to look forward. But the preseason poll is about as useless as a screen door and a sub. I mean, there's just no point for it anymore. It's pretty. But, I mean, finally, your team, whatever your team might be, is no longer beholden to the 80-year-old sports writer from the Peoria, whatever, deciding that your team, who he has never seen nor even been in the state, is the 19th best team in the country. Finally, you can play your team away from that.
For some teams, That's the most wonderful time of the
Let
year.
me tell you, as an Aggie, preseason and recruiting, that's something you hang your hat on. I'm not kidding. And Texas fan knows what it's like to win in February, but never in December. I mean, we've all been there, and now this has kind of been taken away.
Dude, the 2021 and 22 were, if I'm not mistaken, you can probably answer this better than me. I think back-to-back years, A&M was top 5 preseason.
Top 3.
And finished the season unranked. In fact, A&M, who Texas A&M this season is 20th in the AP preseason poll.
Which is probably the first time in 15 years they've been underranked. They've been overranked over and over. I think they're
Every
underranked.
year.
Yeah, it's the first time in a long time. And I'd much rather see, this is the good thing. You can show up now, whether you're 19th or 20th or 25th and whatever, and it don't matter. You don't have to. The ranking now, if you're ranked 20th and we still had the 4-team playoff, if you started out at 20th, you're going to have a lot of things go right for you. You're going to have to not only win every game, but you're going to have to win them impressively. You're not going to, one touchdown ain't going to do it. You're going to need 3 touchdowns against a sub-top 25 team. You're going to need to beat a top 25 team by 2 touchdowns and look good doing it. And if you're playing a top 5 team, you're going to have to be in it, or you're not going to have a prayer. Now, Aggies start at 20, just win your games and get into the playoff. That's all that matters. Whether you're 8-2 or 8-3 or 7-4, win the right games, fall ass backwards into it, and all things are off. I love this, and that's why I appreciate finally this top 20 ranking, because I think you can now do it realistically. You can go, this is what it looks like. It doesn't mean it's right, but this is what it looks like.
I generally think that, I mean, Texas they've had this too. I think Texas and A&M both generally get overrated in the preseason.
Well, Texas is going to suffer from that for the next couple of years. They will. It hurts.
A&M's finished in the top 10 or the top 25 at the end of season AP poll 2 times in the last 10 years. And one of those was the COVID year, like that they didn't even finish a season. So it seems like A&M always has unrealistic expectations.
Well, no,
Texas,
it's unrealistic expectation placed on them. The Aggies didn't put themselves in top 10.
I'm not saying
they
did. I'm saying they always have these unattainable goals put on them. I think Texas is the same way. Although, obviously Texas was in the Final Four last year. They're clearly pretty good, and they're returning their quarterback, which nobody else that was in that conversation is returning their quarterback. So they've got, maybe there's reason for optimism there, but
if you were a betting man now, I don't know what the wins total for Texas is. What do you figure?
10.5.
10.5.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Probably under.
Yeah. The realistic bet would be the under. I mean, and that's not anti-Texas. It's just you're about to get into the roughest waters you've played in ever.
If you assume they lose to Georgia, if you assume they lose at no, they play at Texas, huh?
Yeah, it's the Texas game.
Okay, even then, you assume they lose to Georgia. That means if you lose that game, you've got no wiggle room. You've got to go 11-0 in your other games. That's tough, man. First year in the SEC, you play Oklahoma, you play Michigan. Now, first of all, when we talked at the beginning about do I think anybody's overrated or underrated? I do. I think Ohio State is overrated at number 2. Now, they're probably going to finish up there around the top because I think they're going to have a lot of success in conference because Michigan, also way overrated. Michigan doesn't belong in the top 10. I mean, Michigan is going, I don't think Michigan's going to be a playoff team.
They are a 9.5 win expectation.
I don't think there's any way.
Michigan, Utah, Missouri, Ole Miss, Kansas State, LSU, Memphis, Alabama, Clemson, Penn State, Miami, Florida State, all sit at 9.5.
That's what happens when you go, what they go 15-0 last year or whatever. Yeah, 15-0. Yeah, your expectations are higher than they should be. But
I can tell you something, like Liberty.
They're cleared out.
Liberty is going to probably go undefeated this year.
Probably. And they're not good. But here's the scary thing. Liberty probably going to make it into the playoffs. They probably will.
And they're not going to play anybody. So now you're down to 11 teams that are going to get into. So while it seems easier to get there, there's going to be that one team that's going to have the easiest schedule out there that's going to slide in, and it's going to be a non-power, now it's Power 4, non-Power 4 school that manages to find its way in. I'm looking at the top 25 versus win totals. Very different.
Oh, yeah.
Your win totals. A&M coming in at 8.5 win total. They're in the third tier of all of the top 25 power conference schools with an 8.5 win total, which is probably of the expectations more realistic than 9.5, 10.5 for Texas. To go into the SEC for the first year and to have a 10.5 win, an 11 win over under, 10.5 over under. That's too much to ask for Texas. It's a ridiculous premise. It's to have Georgia at home early.
The question is, do you think Texas is going to be as good as they were a year ago?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're going to win as many games.
That is Rob and AJ on the Morning Huddle this morning. Catch them every weekday morning from 6 to 10 right here on San Antonio Sports Star. And if you miss anything, be sure to check it out at sasportstar.com or just go back to our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. All of our shows are archived there from our live feeds where you can check out everything. We'll put a bow on this show and get you ready for the rest of the evening. Coming up here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
94.1 FM.
If you're a man and you live in or around the San Antonio area, you need to listen to this message. Do you find yourself stressing about or even avoiding intimate moments? Do you find yourself thinking, is it going to work? Does your partner look at you and ask, is it me? Did I do something wrong? Do you get frustrated when things don't live up to their expectations? Men, you're not alone, and we have a solution. For over a decade, Mojo has delivered 100% guaranteed male performance results. Mojo truly works every single time. Guys, Mojo works when all other things fail, and its proprietary formula has helped thousands of men live their best lives again. Yeah! Mojo is 100% natural, blood pressure safe, diabetic friendly, and fast acting. And Mojo is now available in both spray and capsule formulas exclusively at Pure Line Nutrition. Call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today at 210-494-2210. That's Pure Line Nutrition, 210-494-2210.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MBA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
The greatest stories aren't found in books or films or folk songs. The stories that truly bring us together are found in ESPN Fantasy Football. Stories of late-round love and first-round heartbreak. Tales of Hail Marys and Monday Night Miracles. Chronicles of punishments. Oh, the punishments. Friends growing closer than ever through the power of humiliation. It's all here. And while the football might be fantasy, the stories, very real. Download the ESPN Fantasy app, sign up, and write the story of your season.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because feeling full can sound like this.
How did the interview go? I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
And like this.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings rate.
We are coming up on the best time of the year. Football season is right around the corner. Jason Innings here from the Blitz. Now is the time to get ready for Underdog Fantasy. Over 1 million fans got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog. Join in, and you too could win up to 325 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite player stats. I love playing the pick'em game. Won a lot of money last football season and plan on making more this year. Making picks on Underdog is simple, easier to get started. Go to their mobile app or to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code STAR, and Underdog will give you a highly discounted pick to use on your first pick'em entry, plus a deposit offer. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, Underdog Fantasy.
New customer offer of a gimme first take and your deposit offer.
Hear that? Want to elevate your game day experience? Head on over to 49 Cigars at the Village of Stone Oak and Suite 101 and enjoy a selection of premium cigars and lively atmosphere perfect for cheering on your favorite team. Visit 49 Cigars today. 49cigars.com.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Oh, welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Appreciate y'all riding along with me this evening, calling in. Congratulations to Bruce. He won our tickets to go to Def Leppard, Journey, and Steve Miller Band out at the Alamo Dome this coming Friday. If you want to be a chance to win tickets, we'll be giving them all away all week long on all of our shows. Currently, right now, in the bottom of the fourth inning, Astros and Rays tied at 1 apiece, while the Red Sox have taken a 1-0 lead on the Texas Rangers. That game currently airing over on our sister station, San Antonio's ESPN AM 1250. I appreciate y'all for joining me tonight. Reach out to your loved ones. Tell them you love them. You never know what it could do for them. This has been Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. Your coworker Kyle said bundling home and auto insurance with Progressive could save you money. Bad news. While saying this, Kyle was eating your clearly labeled lunch. Dumb news. Pizza near work costs $7 a slice, and it tastes like drywall covered in ketchup. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and enjoy more lunches far away from Kyle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
This is the famous footwear that makes us actually want to go back to school. With the newest styles from all your favorite brands like Nike, Adidas, Crocs, Converse, New Balance, Birkenstock, and more. You'll find everything kids want, all at prices